warranty lasts forever at Roper Honda.
Right now at 6, we'll hear from a Joplin school official about Monday's school bus fire.
And we've got ourselves cloudy skies out there, and it will be breezy as the day progresses. We'll have another look at your forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Miami, Oklahoma welcomes a new manufacturing plant with a ribbon cutting.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So it's Wednesday, hump day, halfway through the first full week of February.
That's right, it is.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I think there's a little bit of confusion. You have to actually check the calendar because it has not felt like February since we got into the beginning of this month.
It's feeling like spring break.
It has been, and it is going to continue to do so, but we're going to have to deal with some winds as well out there. This is our camera on top of the Cordell Complex, downtown Joplin, and you can see it is starting to get a little breezier, and those winds are really going to pick up as we head through the morning hours, especially by mid-morning out there, and we have those cloudy skies. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, a few more cars on the roadway, and here in about 20 minutes or so, there's going to be a lot more cars on the roadway as folks get their Wednesday underway. Temperatures around the region, bear in mind our average lows are in the 20s, and here we are in the low to mid 40s. We even got some upper 40s out there in parts of southeast Kansas, so 20 to 25 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. We're going to be in the low 40s when kids get on the bus this morning, mostly cloudy skies, south breeze at about 5 to 10, and when that bus brings them home, we're looking at plain old cloudy skies, but much warmer, low 60s, south breeze 10 to 20, gusting 25, maybe upwards of 30 miles an hour, and that'll be the trend for us today. Those wind gusts pushing upwards of 30 miles an hour out of the south, so do be prepared for that. Cloudy skies, a few peaks of sun here and there are possible, but I think overall we're going to remain just plain old cloudy, but it doesn't stop us from getting well above average as we go right up to the mid 60s for our highs. We do have some more wind on the way, maybe a couple of showers. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. New details released concerning Monday's Joplin school bus fire with children on board. The driver and all the children made it off safely. While the cause of the fire is still under investigation, we did learn more about its inspection history. This is video from the scene Monday on South Range Line, just off I-44. Investigators say the fire started in the engine compartment around 3 p.m. We spoke with the Joplin School's Assistant Superintendent of Operations, Matt Harding, and he says that the bus driver recognized the seriousness of the situation, radioed it in, and got the children quickly off the bus. Harding says this bus model is one of the older ones the district owns.
This is an older bus that this happened to, and so right now they're in the process of kind of looking to see what happened with this one. But they immediately went and checked all the other buses that have a similar engine style to see if, either they can find out what the issue is and contact the manufacturer and find out if they have any ideas what the issue may have been.
Harding says every bus is inspected twice a year. This one was last checked in December. He also says Joplin has a 20-year record of scoring at 90% or higher on the Missouri Highway Patrol testing. Those inspections include the entire fleet every spring. And a new manufacturing facility and jobs are coming to Miami, Oklahoma. The announcement came at a ribbon-cutting ceremony yesterday afternoon. Valencia Pipe Company is the latest addition to Miami, Oklahoma. The California-based company will now be able to access a whole new part of the country. This facility will create large septic and water tanks. CEO Andrew Durbin says Miami is the perfect place to set up shop and looks forward to helping the community grow.
We like to support the local Little League baseball teams. We like to support the different boys and girls clubs. That's what we have traditionally done in any community that we've come into. In 5 years, hopefully we're a well-established business within the community and we're continuing to grow.
The facility will be able to employ up to 25 people within its first year, but Durbin says the hope is to expand and grow. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. And a Joplin family is ready to board a flight to the Super Bowl. Ryan Springer, his dad, and son are packing up and heading to Vegas, where they will watch in person the Chiefs play against the 49ers this weekend. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more on how they're preparing for the trip.
It was like the fourth quarter and we were ahead and there was like a minute to go and I'm just sitting there on the couch and I can hear my grandpa go, "Well, what are the tickets looking like?"
Just after the end of the AFC Championship game, Samuel Springer saw his dad, Ryan, and his granddad, Ron, setting everything up for a once-in-a-lifetime trip.
It was kind of quick, actually. We had the thing booked in about 2.5 hours.
I was in shock for a little bit after me seeing how much the tickets were going. I was in shock. We went for it.
With each ticket being bought for about $9,000, Sam was not the only one who was shocked. Downstairs is your wife. How does she feel about you spending all the money with the Chiefs?
Yeah, well, she looks at like, what am I getting? so it's kind of a double expense for me because I usually, find something that she likes or something she wants to go do.
Ryan says the money to go to the Super Bowl comes from years of savings.
It's costing my dad an arm and a leg, and it's costing me an arm. Kind of money that we've had saved that we're going to invest in the Super Bowl.
A week after celebrating his 15th birthday, Sam knows the memories created on his second Super Bowl will be cherished for a long time.
Like, at the age I am, it's hard to, put, different life experience compared to this. But I feel like in the future, this is definitely coming up.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Chiefs fans had to wait 50 years between their first two Super Bowl wins, but young Samuel Springer is lucky he will see the team play their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years for the second time in person. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, the U.S. Census Bureau announced it decided not to move forward with a controversial change. We'll have the details. Plus, the effort to impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, was voted down with a handful of GOP members joining the Democrats to defeat it. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Okay, we may have sauce. How could we possibly top this? With a brioche bun, of course. Sonic pulled pork barbecue cheeseburger.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, many Americans appear to be overextending themselves financially. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, credit card and auto loan delinquencies have reached the highest levels in more than a decade. In general, U.S. household debt hit a staggering new high of $17.5 trillion. Rising consumer debt levels can be expected after the holiday season, but the New York Fed is keeping a closer eye on the extent of Americans who are overextending. The U.S. Census Bureau announced it decided not to move forward with a controversial change. The Bureau proposed a new set of questions that would have asked people with a disability to rate their level of difficulty with certain activities, instead of answering yes or no questions. Based on their responses, the Bureau proposed that its main estimates of disability would count only to people who report a lot of difficulty or cannot do at all, and eliminating those who respond with some difficulty. The agency's director said Tuesday is a blog post that the proposed questions could have shrunk the estimated rate of disability in the U.S. by 40%. The Census Bureau director said the decision to drop the proposal is based on feedback from the public. The Bureau plans to keep the current ACS disability questions for collection year 2025. And a stunning defeat for the razor-thin House Republican majority yesterday. Their effort to impeach the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, was voted down, with a handful of GOP members joining the Democrats to defeat it. It comes as President Biden called on Republican lawmakers to show some spine on a bipartisan border security bill. CBS News correspondent Michael George has more from New York.
The resolution is not adopted.
The House GOP-led vote to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas failed yesterday.
Secretary Mayorkas has willfully and deliberately refused to uphold the laws of the United States.
What you have to offer the American people is this sham impeachment.
In the end, 4 Republicans joined the Democrats in voting against the resolution, with some arguing that impeaching a cabinet official would set a dangerous precedent. Texas Democrat Al Green even left his hospital bed post-surgery to cast his no vote. He spoke with CBS News after returning to the hospital.
I went there to help a good man keep his reputation.
Several House Republicans say efforts to impeach Mayorkas are not over.
We can bring the articles of impeachment back to the floor maybe as early as next week.
In statements, the White House and the Department of Homeland Security described the vote as baseless, and they called on congressional Republicans to support the Senate's bipartisan border security bill. But Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson has pronounced it dead on arrival.
We have no real chance here to make a law.
It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine.
Yesterday, President Biden accused GOP lawmakers of caving to the demands of former President Donald Trump, who's come out against the bill. Michael George, CBS News.
And yesterday, the House also failed to pass a GOP standalone bill that would have given over $17 billion in aid to Israel. 14 Republicans joined 166 Democrats in the opposite vote. The president had threatened to veto the measure had it made it to his desk. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Now we've got ourselves a cloudy start to our Wednesday out there, and the winds are really going to start to pick up, especially by mid-morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us those clouds. No precipitation in our immediate area, but you can see well off to our west some rain, and that will bring us at least some isolated shower chances as we head into our Thursday. As we head through the rest of today, though, we're going to see those mostly cloudy or just plain old cloudy skies, so a few peaks of sunshine will be possible. Southerly breezes will start gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour today, and they could push upwards of 45 miles an hour tomorrow, so do be aware of that if you're heading out. Otherwise, even warmer today than where we were yesterday as we go in the low to mid 60s across the area. As I mentioned, we got those slight rain chances tomorrow. We got windier conditions on the way. We're going to take a look at that full forecast a little later.
When you're part of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, you have a voice. Ashley, this is home.
A literal slap in the face. An Australian reporter is getting her 15 minutes of international fame for a caught-on-camera moment that involved her slapping herself to shoo away some pesky mosquitoes. Jeannie Moose has a slap-happy reaction.
Bugs often use us as landing strips and even go down the hatch. But when the co-hosts at the Today Show Australia started playing amplified buzzing noises, they were setting the stage for this. Reporter Andrea Crothers didn't just swat mosquitoes, she slapped herself.
The mosquitoes were the biggest monsters I've ever seen in my life. I'd already whacked about 5 on my forehead before we went live that I had to wipe the blood off it because the studio said we can see it.
The gang in the studio.
But I'd like to see that whole thing like slowed down, reversed, backed up again.
We couldn't get enough of Andrea slapping herself. Who ended up hurting more, you or the mosquito?
Well, he died, I didn't, so I think probably him.
Reporters have faced much bigger distractions.
And provide a home.
But having your nose groped by an elephant is less jarring than slapping yourself silly. On her next outing, Andrea came prepared.
Don't worry, guys. HR told me I can wear it on air as long as I don't get workers' compensation for punching myself in the face.
Andrea managed to both create buzz and be a buzzkill. Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
And this is why I'm glad that our studio is indoors. So now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Well, I'm telling you, in my years here, though, that doesn't seem to matter. There was a wasp in here yesterday, and there was one in here before a noon show when Jalen Banks was still here. And, like, he and I are running around the studio trying to get away from this thing because it was, like, chasing us. Thankfully, nothing like that in here now. And we've got another decent but cloudy and breezy day. We'll look at that forecast when we come back.
Hey, 4 States, Chris here with
is here. We can't wait for Super Bowl 58 on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 621 now on this Wednesday morning, taking a live look at our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. We've got cloudy skies. We are about 20 degrees above where we should be. In some locations, we're about 25 degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. We've got a bit of a breeze now, but it's really going to pick up once we hit about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. MoDOT camera, 20th in range line, also looking pretty good as well. And let's talk about the wind first. Here we are by this evening. Now, through today, those southerly breezes will be gusting upwards 25, 30 miles an hour. Then once we head overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, look at these wind gusts. Still out of the south, but now gusting 40, 45 miles an hour out there. And it's going to remain that way through most of our Thursday into the evening. And we'll hold on to some gusty winds even heading into our Friday out there, where they'll still be out of the south or southwest at around 25 to 30, potentially 35 miles an hour. So we've got some breezy days ahead of us, but it's going to stay warm under all of that. It is 42 in Joplin. Of course, our camera 7th in range line. It is cloudy, southeast breeze at about 3 miles an hour. But again, that is drastically going to change in the next, I'd say maybe 3.5 hours. And it's really going to start to pick up. But look at these temperatures. Out to the east here, we've got low to mid 40s, but you head further west and look at parts of southeast Kansas, upper 40s. Neodesha is holding, and Chanute now, holding close to 50 degrees. It is February, and it is in the morning. We should be in the 20s, and we are pushing near 50 in Chanute and Neodesha right now. That's how crazy warm we are. We're going to have cloudy skies today. Winds really start to ramp up mid 50s by late morning. We could see a few peaks of sunshine here and there, but I think overall we're just going to be cloudy. Breezy through the afternoon, of course. Temperatures into the mid-60s for our highs. Upper 60s, absolutely possible and very probable the further west you go. We go through this evening, still cloudy. We'll go mostly cloudy overnight and still well above average. Lows in the low 50s, where our highs should be 10 degrees cooler than that. Our lows should be almost 30 degrees colder than that out there. Looking down the road, mid-60s for our Thursday. Our rain chances have dropped as we've headed into our Thursday. That was a trend we were starting to notice even yesterday with some of the updates later in the day. Our rain chances aren't looking so good tomorrow. I know we need more rain, but some of us may still see a couple of stray showers, but I think most of us will be dry. We'll see a few more peaks of sun. Mid-60s again Friday. Friday is going to turn into yesterday, where we start with some mostly clear skies and clouds gradually increasing later in the day. A little cooler heading into the weekend. More rain chances Sunday, and then back into the low 50s to kick off the next work week. Let's check your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Caitlin with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, more evidence on the benefits of giving up smoking. A new study in JAMA shows people who kick the habit have a significant lower cancer risk even 10 years later. The research involved 3 million people and found quitting at any age helped, but those who stopped before middle age received the most benefit. And new data links air pollution to cardiovascular deaths. As international analysis finds, people in low-income countries are about 4 times more likely to die from pollution-related heart disease. Polluting fuels and stoves were also a factor in stroke deaths. And people with obesity who have type 2 diabetes can lower their risk of kidney disease by adding more physical activity to their routine. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine finds boosting exercise by just an extra hour a week can substantially lower a person's risk. February is Heart Month, raising awareness about the #1 killer of men and women in the U.S. Controlling risk factors such as high blood pressure and cholesterol is critical, but a new national survey shows many Americans don't know the numbers. Christian Benavides has more.
Despite being young and active, Erica Hudson has had high cholesterol since her 20s.
I was like, how is this possible?
having high cholesterol is because you're unhealthy.
She says she didn't want to take medication because she was starting a family. Then her father died of coronary artery disease when she was in her 30s.
It makes you think about things a little bit differently. Even though my diet and exercise was going pretty well, we needed to do more.
Most Americans don't know the numbers that can help predict heart disease. Less than half know their blood pressure or healthy weight, and less than 1 in 5 know their cholesterol or blood sugar levels, according to Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center.
If you know your numbers, you can really make a difference in your life.
For blood pressure, top number should be under 120, bottom number under 80. For blood sugar, less than 100, or a hemoglobin A1C of less than 5.7. For cholesterol, talk to your doctor about your recommended range of LDL bad cholesterol and triglycerides.
The other numbers that we look at is your body mass index, normal range, less than 25. Another important number, the recommendation for adults, is 7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Erica is now 37 with 2 children. She says cholesterol lowering medication kept her numbers good. Not good enough. Doctors added another self-injected medication.
In my case, my family history, there's really nothing that I could do in my normal life to get those numbers down.
They're now in a healthy range. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And while many Americans don't know their heart health numbers off the top of their heads, according to the survey, most are having these risk factors checked regularly. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
The Chevy Silverado.
Easy breezy. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-home estimate. If you want the best for last, call Windows for Less.
Right now at 6:30, a Joplin church hosted a fundraiser to support local refugees and immigrants.
And we've got a cloudy start to our day, but it is quite mild for this time of year. It'll be warmer yet and windier. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Freeman Health announces its theme for this year's 5K run and walk in support of autism awareness.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner, and it took me an hour and a half to realize that my tie matches the color of her dress. A little hard to see on camera, but they're roughly the same color.
Yes. Way to go, Chris.
I don't even plan anything. Like, I wake up, I get my shirt out of the closet, and I've got a collection of ties, and I look, and I'm like, that one. And I just pull it down and put it on, and so there we are.
It worked out.
And it's going to be a great day to put your hair up like Caitlin has, or be like me and just not have any, because it's going to start to get very windy across the area. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin, showing folks getting their day started. And there are times I look at these cameras and I somewhat envy these folks, because some of them, aren't actually going to work. They're just out enjoying their day. And there are days that I want to join them, depending on what they're doing, of course. But otherwise, we've got a pretty decent start, quite mild out there as well. Let me back up, because it occurred to me all my graphics are set up on that side. Take a look at these temperatures, though. Look at this. Neodesha, Chinook, 49, 48 in Parsons, pushing near 50 degrees at this time of day, at this time of year in this part of the country. And it is way too warm. We should be in the 20s. I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know we are well above average. Kids get on the bus this morning. Mostly cloudy skies out there. Low 40s, south breeze 5 to 10. We'll start seeing gusts out of the south, 25, potentially 30 miles an hour. We're looking to be cloudy. A few peaks of sun will absolutely be possible. I think overall we're just going to be cloudy. Doesn't stop us from warming up. Low 60s out there. Now I can move to this side. And we're going to be cloudy. Again, a few peaks of sun here and there. Gusty south winds. Be prepared for that. Highs today, mid 60s out there. Beautiful weather aside from the clouds, but hey, we'll take it. It's still warm. Winds are going to get breezier as we head into tomorrow, and we're still tracking at least a couple of shower chances. We'll look at all that in the full forecast a little later. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. A Joplin church yesterday hosted a fundraiser to support local refugees and immigrants. First Presbyterian Church of Joplin hosted a luncheon for $8 a plate. All of the proceeds from the event go to the organization RAISE. They help provide refugees and immigrants with resources and education to help them in their transition to a new home.
And it's not as burdensome on our sponsoring families, and then we can do more, and it's not a barrier. Finances are not then a barrier for people to want to come alongside.
The First Presbyterian Church hosts charity luncheons every month. And Freeman Health yesterday revealed the theme for the 2024 5K Walk and Run for Autism. For the 5th straight year, these combined events raise funds to support program development and scholarship assistance for the Bill and Virginia Leffen Center for Autism. The first place winner will be able to choose next year's theme, but this year's theme, Walk, Run, and Roar, featuring dinosaurs.
It isn't about the entering the 5K. We have fundraising teams. So families can sign up to have a team, and then the one that raises the most money then gets the prizes, and we have the 3 different prizes packages.
The event will take place at 8 a.m. on Saturday, April 20th in front of Leffen Center in Joplin. And a Springfield teen's wish will come true thanks to a Make-A-Wish program. Preston Hardiman, who recently underwent an unexpected heart transplant, was surprised after school yesterday to see staff and volunteers setting up his one true wish, a Titan Fitness home gym. For Preston, the gym is a symbol of perseverance.
The time I had away from my family and my friends and stuff, it was taken away from me from my heart stuff, and just to have this is going to be, I don't know, I feel like I can bring some of that back.
Make-A-Wish Missouri and Kansas teamed up to make Preston's wish come true. And Spirit Week in our area continues as we near kickoff to Super Bowl 58. Yesterday, students at the Intermediate School building in Carl Junction celebrated Travis and Taylor Day. Kids dressed as either Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift and made their own excitement known. One Chiefs fan explained his reasons for dressing like number 87.
Because Travis Kelce is like the hype player of the team. He's always the one, like, if anybody messes up, he's always the one saying, okay, let's keep going, it's fine, we're still in this, like what they did last game against the Ravens.
And you can watch the defending champs take on the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl 58 this Sunday. Donald and Beverly Malone were married in 1954. The high school sweethearts family grew to include 3 sons, multiple grandkids, and a cozy home in Fort Scott, Kansas. The Malones attribute their 70 years together to just being there for each other. They say working on a marriage is vital for longevity, but staying active together is just as important.
Usually like the same things all the time, but anybody that tells you that their marriage is just fun and games all the time, that's not right. You have to work at it.
She's been the backbone, you might say, because she has helped me through things, and
I think it's a mutual thing.
It is.
Although their anniversary is in January, Donald and Beverly Malone plan on celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary in April when the weather is nicer. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on KOAM Morning News. The Super Bowl is more than just a football game, it's an all-immersive experience. We'll have the details. Plus, we have a mostly cloudy and breezy day. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. We're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Successful. IndigoSkyCasino.com for promotional details. Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri.
In Consumer Watch this morning, safety in the skies, front and center on Capitol Hill. Federal Aviation Administration head Michael Whitaker gave his first congressional testimony since his swearing in last October. It was also his first time facing lawmakers since last month's incident involving an Alaska Airlines Boeing jet that grounded all similar aircraft for weeks. Karine Kafa has the latest from Washington.
Thank you. Federal Aviation Administration Administrator Michael Whitaker before a House subcommittee to take questions about safety in the skies for the first time since his Senate confirmation in October.
The safety of the flying public is our mission.
Lawmakers with particular scrutiny around the January 5th incident aboard an Alaska Airlines flight where a door plug flew off a Boeing aircraft in midair.
Make no mistake, this was a close call, too close.
That prompted the FAA to ground all similar aircraft, the Boeing 737 MAX 9, and announce changes to FAA oversight of commercial aircraft production.
We now have 20 inspectors on the ground in Boeing engaging with the employees in every phase of the manufacturing process.
Also addressed the ongoing shortage of air traffic controllers.
Increasing our controller ranks will help mitigate risks associated with controller fatigue.
And possible expansion of controller training programs within colleges and universities to boost the ranks.
Do you see new programs opening up as a result of your efforts?
I'd like to see that. It hasn't been our initial focus. We're trying to work with the schools that are already sort of set into that space, but I don't see any reason why other schools, particularly those with a technical bent, can't have this program as well.
Whitaker also said he plans to meet Wednesday with airline leaders to discuss safety trends. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The CDC is sounding the alarm on a deadly outbreak of listeria linked to recalled dairy products. 26 people have gotten sick so far across 11 states. 2 have died. The company Rizzo Lopez Foods has recalled more than 60 soft cheeses, sour cream, and yogurt products sold under more than a dozen brand names. And ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery have announced that they are joining forces to launch a new sports streaming service this fall. The new app will carry offerings from at least 15 networks and will include games from all 4 major U.S. professional sports leagues in addition to college sports. And a record 200 million U.S. adults are expected to tune in to this weekend's Super Bowl. That's according to a new survey from the National Retail Federation. Those who plan to catch the big game at home or at the bar are expected to spend more than $17 billion on food, drinks, and decorations. Meanwhile, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce projects the big game will generate $500 million for the Las Vegas economy. Super Bowl 58 will air live on CBS this Sunday, February 11th. And the Super Bowl is more than just a football game. It's an all-immersive experience, especially this year because it's in Las Vegas. You don't even need a ticket to Sunday's game to get swept into the excitement. Jared Hill is in Las Vegas to show us some of the once-in-a-lifetime experiences ready for visitors to enjoy.
Celebrating the Super Bowl has become so much bigger than the game itself. Of the 500,000 people expected to flood Vegas this week, only a small percentage will actually go to the game, but visitors can still be part of the action.
This is our fan event that's really meant for fans who don't have tickets to the game to really feel like they're part of the Super Bowl environment.
The Super Bowl experience offers photo ops with the Lombardi Trophy, a field to run drills, and access to NFL stars.
Micah Parsons is going to be here, Eli Manning is going to be here, Jerry Rice is going to be here.
Getting some autographs. Just up the strip, Paramount has transformed the famous volcano at the Mirage Hotel into Paramount Expedition Vegas. The theme park takes fans to new heights, showcasing 10 of Paramount's most popular shows and movies, like Ghosts, Survivor, and the upcoming biopic, Bob Marley, One Love.
This virtual gondola ride on Paramount Mountain is exactly what this is about, immersing visitors in everything that is Super Bowl 58 and everything that's Paramount.
That people really do want to experience what their show is or sort of what they're a fan of. And everybody has their social media.
It took months to build a ski lodge in the desert. Now, Paramount Expedition Vegas is getting ready to welcome fans with an unforgettable experience on a mountain of entertainment. Jared Hill, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Paramount Expedition Vegas Journey to the Peak is free to everyone and is open on Thursday. The NFL experience at Mandalay Bay opens today with reduced ticket prices, and kids under 12 are admitted free. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves some clouds out there this morning, and if you take a look at our camera on the Cornell Complex and see a little bit of daylight trying to peek through, and that'll be the case today. I think we're overall going to be cloudy, but a few peaks of sunlight will be possible. We're also going to be quite breezy. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good as we get this day underway, and it's relatively stable now, but again, those winds are going to pick up out of the south, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour later today. Temperatures well above normal. Some of us in southeast Kansas, this little trifecta perspective right here. Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, all close to 50 degrees this morning. Kids getting on the bus, on average, we're looking at about the low 40s, mostly cloudy skies, and that south breeze around 5 to 10. And when that bus brings them back home this afternoon, low 60s, cloudy, breezy, south winds gusting again upwards of 30. It is going to get windier yet. It's also going to get warmer, and we're going to talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a moment. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up right after the break. But first, we're going to see what's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail Kane. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, David Begnaud introduces us to a Nashville legend who not only shines when he performs at the Grand Ole Opry, but guess what? This guy literally shines at his day job. You won't want to miss it. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Spigarelli-law.com. That's Spigarelli-law.com.
All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays. We're going to start with Finley Albright, who's celebrating birthday number 6 today. Happy birthday, Finley.
And Georgia O'Banion in Pittsburgh, Kansas turns 11 today. It says here, happy birthday to my deaf princess. Love you to the moon and back from your mama.
And in Columbus, we've got Jex Cheney with the catch of the day, celebrating birthday number 13. Happy birthday, Jex.
And happy 18th birthday to Mackenzie Leroy over in Chanute, Kansas. We love you oodles and gobs, and you make us very proud every day. From Pop and Mia.
And in Edna, we've got Wyatt Moore celebrating birthday number 18 with birthday love coming from Mom, Dad, and the brothers.
Over in Columbus, Kansas, happy 22nd birthday to Will Eddington.
And we've got Chad Humphrey celebrating birthday number 54. It says happy birthday with love coming from your family.
And we're wrapping it up over in Columbus, Kansas with Doug Carroll turning 66 today.
All right, and of course we celebrate these birthdays Monday through Friday right here on the KOAM Morning News. And if you'd like to celebrate with us, Caitlin can tell you how you do that.
All you have to do is submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include pictures and any cute messages that you want us to say on your special day.
And of course today, not a bad day to be celebrating a birthday, taking a live look at our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. We've got those mostly cloudy skies. You can see a few peaks of daylight trying to get through. And we're starting to get windy, and it is going to get really breezy as we go through today. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline also looking pretty good as folks get their Wednesday commute underway. In terms of those winds, we're looking at them gusting roughly out of the south at about 25 to 30 miles an hour through most of today. So you want to keep that in mind. However, what you really want to keep in mind for sure as we go overnight tonight into Thursday, those winds really pick up, still out of the south, but now gusting upwards of 45 miles an hour. And we're going to start our commute with that, and these gusty winds are going to stick with us all day Thursday, and we're still going to be somewhat gusty as we head into our Friday. Those gusts still pushing 20 to potentially 30 miles an hour on our Friday as well, so you need to be prepared for that, especially if your commute takes you on any east-west roadways out there with those south wind gusts. Our camera 7th and Rangeline, it is mostly cloudy out there, 42 in Joplin, southeast breeze at 3, but again, that's going to really ramp up here in the next couple of hours. Temperatures around the region, we are almost, in some cases, 30 degrees above where we should be. We've got Parsons, Chanute, and Neodesha all pushing close to 50 out there this morning, and we should be sitting into the low to mid-20s right now, so a very mild start out there, and it's going to get warmer yet. So cloudy skies, again, a few peaks of sun will be possible here and there, but I think overall the clouds are just really be socked in out there. Breezy, mid-50s by late morning. Our average highs again should be in the low to mid-40s. Yeah, we're about 20 degrees above that as we go into the mid-60s, maybe even some upper 60s in some locations out there. Winds again continue through the evening and overnight, and they also keep us quite mild. We're going back into the low 50s. Our lows are 10 degrees above where our highs should be for this time of year, so a very mild evening for us as we head into our Thursday night across the Wednesday night across the area. Now I'm trying to get ahead in days. Looking down the road, it's going to stay mild at least through Friday. Tomorrow, stray shower or two possible. Unfortunately, as we looked more at the data yesterday, our rain chances started to kind of decrease. So that's not to say you won't see a stray shower or two tomorrow, but I think most of us dry. And believe it or not, we're going to see a few more peaks of sun tomorrow than what we do today. Mid-60s, upper 60s possible, low to mid-60s on Friday. And Friday will be similar to yesterday. We're going to kind of start the day with just a few clouds out there and then gradually see them increase as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. showers. Mostly cloudy, a little cooler Saturday, still above normal. Back to normal Saturday with some additional rain chances. And then we warm back up again as we head into next week, back in the low to mid 50s, maybe even pushing the upper 50s as we head toward the end of next week. So some mild temperatures out there for sure. But again, we're still in February. It's not spring yet. And as we mentioned last week, I feel it's still at some point, Mother Nature's going to have to balance here. I'm just starting to wonder how Mother Nature is going to return the balance and get things back to the way they're supposed to be. So we'll keep an eye for any big changes in your forecast. And that is a check of your forecast. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News coming up after this, including a recap of all that, plus the news you need to know. And when we make the transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a Louisiana town honored their first black police officers right here at 7 a.m.
Is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Action Battalion. We're proud to salute Jess Davis, a 4-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A new manufacturing facility and jobs are coming to Miami, Oklahoma. The announcement came at a ribbon-cutting ceremony yesterday afternoon. Valencia Pipe Company is the latest addition to Miami, Oklahoma. The California-based company will now be able to access a whole new part of the country. This facility will create large septic and water tanks. CEO Andrew Durbin says Miami is the perfect place to set up shop and looks forward to helping the community grow. And a Joplin church yesterday hosted a fundraiser to support local refugees and immigrants. First Presbyterian Church of Joplin hosted a luncheon for $8 a plate. All of the proceeds from the event go to organization Raise. They help provide refugees and immigrants with resources and education to help them in their transition to a new home. The First Presbyterian Church hosts charity luncheons every month during the school year. And Freeman Health yesterday revealed the theme for the 2024 5K Run and Walk for Autism. For the 5th straight year, these combined events raise funds to support program development and scholarship assistance for the Bill and Virginia Leffen Center for Autism. The first place winner will be able to choose next year's theme. This year's theme, Walk, Run, and Roar, featuring dinosaurs. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we are going to be breezy today. South winds gusting upwards of 30. Cloudy skies, maybe a few peaks of sun. Temperatures well above average again into the mid-60s. Breezy through the overnight. Winds increasing to 35 miles an hour. We'll fall back in the low 50s with mostly cloudy skies. We're going to go mid, maybe even upper 60s tomorrow. Winds could gust out of the south up to 45 with maybe an isolated shower here or there. And then we'll be in the mid-60s again Friday, partly cloudy. A little cooler this weekend. More rain on Sunday. And then we start to warm back up as we kick off the next work week.
And coming up today at noon, we're making candy bar slab cookies in the Mr. Food Test kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Morning. Super Bowl 58 is just days away in Las Vegas, taking a supersized approach to safety. Ahead on CBS Mornings, Chris Van Cleve got rare access to fighter jets in action as part of the plan to protect the fans on game day.
All right, or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see a couple who said "I do" back in 1954 reveal the secret of their long love affair.
Plus, Chucky Hessong joining us in the studio with another amazing recipe just in time for the Super Bowl. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.
It's not too late for a very important